Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and I'm bringing you another live commentated VGC 14 battle on the Online Ladder series. Now, for anyone wondering about my rating, I actually had to reset it the other day since I switched DSs, so I'm starting back at 1500. I think I played a couple of games, so I've like 1520 or whatever, but now this is me trying to climb back onto the top. I think I was around like 1720 30s when I had to reset. But anyway, let's get into the battle. Today I'm using Goodra, a new edition, Assault Vest Goodra, something I've never tried out before, also kindly donated by someone. To anyone who's been messaging me about donations or tweeting at me, thank you all so much. I'll try to respond to you as quickly as possible. But yeah, if you guys have any battle ready Pokemon that you want to see on the series and that you might have an extra copy of, I would really love a donation. It's totally fine if you guys can't, but just because I haven't had as much time recently to actually breed and train up stuff. So if you guys want to donate something, let me know through the inbox, and I'll try to feature on the series as soon as possible. So thank you all so much, and let's get into this battle. So Assault Vest Goodra. Something that we haven't seen very much. Goodra just not a Pokemon that's been used too much in VGC. Obviously not very good in terms of defense, but it's got an incredible special defense. Has a really good diverse move pool. I'm going to find an opponent right away. 1598 from Japan, and we're going to go into team preview. So my opponent's team is going to be Charizard, Mawile, his own Goodra, what? Aromatisse, Trevenant, and Rotom Wash. Wow, really interesting. But Goodra can actually do work in this matchup. It blocks, obviously Goodra versus Goodra is an interesting matchup, but Goodra also fares well against that Charizard, has the fire type attack to hit that Trevenant. Rotom Wash can't really hit it, so I really want to bring Goodra in this one. Just have to be careful of the Mawile and the Aromatisse. Unfortunately, I don't have a Steel type on my team, so hitting those two will be relatively hard. Rotom gonna do a great job covering that Mawile. Rotom just overall excellent in this matchup. So I really want Rotom, Goodra. I think I'm gonna bring Kangaskhan. Now I've got to figure out a way to for my last one. I'm tempted to bring Amoonguss just to shut the Rotom Wash down, but that kind of suffers against everything else. I think I'm leaning towards Azumarill actually. So I definitely want to lead with Kangaskhan. I think I'm gonna go with Kang, Azumarill as my leads. And have, actually no, let's go Kang Goodra. And have Rotom and Azumarill in the back. Tyranitar would be good too here, but I think the Mawile is what's really scaring me away. But man, I'm excited to try out Goodra. First match with it, we'll see how it goes. Of course, it is running a move pool, I believe, of Dragon Pulse, Ice Beam, Fire Blast, and Thunderbolt. So you have really good offensive coverage there, especially because you're not giving up a move for Protect, which is pretty common on most VGC Pokemon. But of course, I'm running Assault Vest, so I can't use that. I'm going to go with my double shiny lead, Kingdra. Keep on calling it Kingdra, guys. Kangaskhan and Goodra against what looks like Mawile and Aromatisse. So this is a fantastic lead for me, as obviously the Goodra threatens the Mawile right from the start. So, now this is interesting because I'm not sure if my opponent's just going to predict me to and switch out, or just, stay in with that Mawile and attack. I'm tempted to just go with the Flamethrower. I actually realize I'm not running Fire Blast, which can cause me some trouble. But I also anticipate the Mawile switching out, honestly. That would make the most sense to me. So I kind of want to switch my Goodra out as well and go into, say, my Rotom Heat. But he's in a fantastic position right now in terms of beating Goodra, so I can't really see why he'd want to switch out. So you know what? I'm just going to go for the Flamethrower onto Mawile. Though in retrospect, that probably wasn't a very good play because I don't want to lose Goodra right from the start. But we'll see what he ends up doing. So it looks like neither of his Pokemon are going to switch. Now the question is whether Mawile actually protects or not this turn. But if it doesn't, then I'm fine because I'll get a Flamethrower off onto it. If it does protect, then I'll be able to double target it the following turn, especially because the Fake Out will go onto the Aromatisse this turn. But let's see. Alright, so Mawile is protecting there. That's a safe play there. Doesn't surprise me really, but I will take that. Oh, we actually see the double protect. Okay. So that makes a lot more sense. That Aromatisse is most definitely carrying Trick Room, but I'm not too concerned about that right now, so obviously the Flamethrower is not going to do anything. And now you have to question what that Mawile wants to do. Obviously, so in Team Preview, once again, I should have written my opponent's team down. I'm going to grab a pen and pencil and quickly jot that. So we saw the Aromatisse, the Mawile, the Rotom, the Tree, the Charizard. And once again, I always blank out on the last Pokemon. But I think I'm going to go for the Return and the Flamethrower onto the Mawile here since it protected last turn. And Goodra can obviously take any special attack from that Aromatisse. He's not going to switch out the Mawile though, so I'm just going to get some free damage off with Return. And with Flamethrower, I think I should be able to take it out, but let's see. Not entirely sure. Goodra is going to get this Flamethrower off, obviously super effective on Mawile. Is it enough? It is enough! Perfect! So Goodra doing work, picking up that KO on Mega Mawile, instantly knocking out my opponent's Mega Evolution. As Aromatese's Trick Room does go up, but now that I eliminated his biggest Trick Room, really attacker, I am in a very comfortable position. So I take a 4-3 lead as we count down one turn of Trick Room, of 5 of course. And this will be his own Goodra coming in. Ooh, nice. The Goodra mirrors, guys. So that was the last Pokemon. I totally forgot my opponent had his own Goodra. So now that the Mawile is eliminated, we've seen the Aromatese, we've seen the Goodra. Charizard's probably not going to be on my opponent's team because most likely a Charizard Mega Evolution. So now the last one is either Rotom Wash or Trevenant. Rotom Wash makes a bit more sense to me. So I'm in a pretty good position here, especially with Kangaskhan. I think I'm just going to go for the power-up punch, actually. Actually, no, I'm going to try to get rid of Goodra as fast as possible. I'm going to go for a return onto it. And I'm debating between switching out Goodra or keeping it in. You know what, let's keep it in. It's in a good position right now. Let's pick up the KO on my opponent's Goodra if possible. And Aromatese is probably going to go for a super effective Fairy-type attack on Goodra, but of course that special defense is a beast. He's actually going to protect there, so I'm really happy to see that. Though that play doesn't make much sense to me. My Goodra is actually slower than his, so I'm going to get my Dragon Pulse off first, which is awesome. But obviously the Goodra is trading... it's going for the Sludge Wave, which explains the Protect there. A move that you don't see very often in VGC. Does not very much to either of my Pokemon. My Assault Vest Goodra taking it like a boss, as I actually take out his Goodra with this return. So, quickly swinging things into my favor, although things are actually already in my favor, so I'm taking a 4-2 lead now. Protect on Aromatese makes sense seeing the Sludge Wave, but I don't think it was a good move considering the position my opponent's in. Right now, when you have Trick Room up, you really need to take advantage of it, and the Trick Room actually ended up helping me more than my opponent, as I was able to just knock out my opponent's Goodra. So I'm up 4-2 now, but the biggest concern is my opponent's Rotom Wash right now. I don't have a great matchup against that, because I do have Rotom Heat and the Azumarill on the back. But once Trick Room... I can actually bring in Azumarill, since Azumarill is probably slower than Rotom Wash right now. I'm going to target the... I'm going to go for the return onto the Rotom Wash and switch out Goodra into Rotom Heat to take any potential Dragon-type attack. Fairy-type attack. I just want to get some chip damage off onto this Rotom. So surprisingly, even though I had a great start, the game's still not over yet. We do see the Moonblast come out from Aromatese. That is going to target Rotom, so not going to do too much there, as Rotom Heat is Fire-type and resists that Fairy-type attack. Rotom Wash is going to go for that Will-O-Wisp, negating my Kangaskhan, bringing it down to -2. And actually, because I got intimidated by Mega Mawile earlier on, my attack is severely damaged right now. You see how little it does with that, with the return there. But Rotom revealing the leftovers instead of the Citrus Berry. Citrus Berry most likely on that Aromatese. And my Rotom Heat comes in safely, but obviously not the best of position for it right now. So Kangaskhan's done a good job. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do too much right now. I'm going to go for the power-up punch here onto Rotom just to get some stat, try to boost it back. It's done what it needed to do, and I'm going to protect with my Rotom Heat there. But I probably should have focused my efforts on that Aromatese, since once Aromatese goes down, Goodra pretty much wins against that Rotom Wash, as the Moonblast does go off onto that Kangaskhan. Not gonna do a decent amount, excuse me. Bring me down to 58 as Rotom Wash goes for the Hydro Pump, just going into the Protect. Kangaskhan is going to get a power-up punch off, so this is going to bring some attack back, critting the first one. But yeah, now this brings me back to effectively -1, getting rid of that burn attack decrease, as Rotom continues to heal with its leftovers. Once again, game's still not over yet, though. It's been pretty close, honestly, even though, mainly because of the Pokemon and the team matchup. Trick Room obviously still doesn't end here, but now I can go for a Sucker Punch onto this Rotom Wash, and I'm going to switch my Rotom Heat back out into Goodra. It seems highly unlikely that he would predict this play. My opponent's best play right now is probably a Protect from Rotom Wash and a Moonblast just onto my Kangaskhan, because he wants to eliminate Kangaskhan of Rotom Heat. Not as much of a threat right now. But he's actually not going to Protect with the Rotom Wash, so I'm going to get a free Sucker Punch off here. Even though at -1, still going to do decent damage, bring it down to 40% right now. I'm just slowly whittling that HP down. He does go for the Moonblast onto the Kangaskhan, fortunately not onto the Goodra slot, as my Kangaskhan does fall this turn. And he's going to go with the Hydro Pump. Obviously not going to do very much to Goodra with the Assault Vest, and the incredible special defense only brings it down to 159 HP, as it continues to heal with leftovers. And this is a long and drawn-out game, and it's actually kind of annoying right now, as Trick Room finally ends here. Goodra obviously doesn't have a good matchup against that Aromatese, but it can take a Moonblast, fortunately. So I'm going to bring in my Azumarill here. I really want to target that Rotom Wash down now, so I'm going to go double target it here with the Play Rough and a Dragon Pulse. Azumarill actually should be slower than Rotom Wash, so let's say he protects here, then my Azumarill will just be able to outspeed it under Trick Room, and he's not going to protect, as Goodra is going to get a full power Dragon Pulse off here. Look how much damage that did, wow. Rotom Wash going for the Will-O-Wisp onto Azumarill, but because I got that Dragon Pulse off, I should be able to KO with Play Rough regardless. Play Rough is going to connect, breaking through that poor accuracy, or not poor, but not the best accuracy. I'm going to take out the knockout on Rotom Wash, as Aromatisse is probably going for a Trick Room here, yep. And now I'm in a fantastic position, given the fact that Aromatisse can't really touch Rotom Heat, and its limited move pool. We've seen Moonblast, we've seen Trick Room, we've seen Protect. I don't think we've seen the last move yet, but I'm still in a perfectly fine position. So I'm going to go for the Play Rough here. Actually, I should go for a Belly Drum. No, let's just get damage. At this point, I just need to do as much damage as possible, so I'm going to go for the Play Rough, and let's go for an Ice Beam. As the Aromatisse go for the Moonblast, you would think it would target the Azumarill, but nope, targeting the Goodra, attempting to go for that super effective. It's actually going to decrease my special attack, but so now I'm dealing with two attackers that are pretty, not severely, but their stats have been decreased a good amount. You see there with the -1, I'm not able to do too much with that Ice Beam, but Azumarill is still doing a hefty amount with his Play Roughs, and I do have Rotom Heat to seal the game up in the back, so I'm perfectly fine. You know what, let's go for Flamethrower. I'd actually rather burn it than anything, as Aromatisse obviously can only Moonblast one Pokemon at a time. Now, continuing to target Goodra, interesting decision to not target my Azumarill, which is obviously the bigger threat right now, but once again, the game's pretty much over, given the fact that I have Rotom Heat in the back. And Aromatisse actually doesn't have Citrus Berry, though that actually makes sense, seeing how Trevenant was on my opponent's team too. And I should be able to close the game off this turn, but that was a fun game. Wow, Goodra did work in the first game I used it with, so really, really awesome to see tanking attacks here and there, picking up the knockout on Mawile right from the start, then knocking out my opponent's Goodra too. My opponent's going to forfeit there, so I'm going to take the 3-1 win. It was a really awesome battle. I got to feature Goodra, which is a Pokemon we don't see in VGC too often. If you guys enjoyed the battle, always give it a like. 500 likes, like always, for daily uploads, and I'll see you next time. Alright, peace.